Hey Laura, I'm going to take you on a tour today of this place, which is Darling Harbour. Interestingly, Darling Harbour was actually named after the classic John Ford western My Darling Clementine. Interestingly, I actually own a couple of restaurants in Darling Harbour. This is the first of them, Nick's Bar and Grill. The other one's my Italian-themed restaurant right here, which is called Casa di Nico. Interestingly, this bench that I'm sitting on is actually constructed of some of the very same wood that was used to make the Harbour Bridge. Now many people don't realise that the Harbour Bridge is actually a wooden structure because it looks like it's made of metal, but it is in fact made of wood. If you go up close you can tell. It's just been carved and painted to make itself look metallic. Yeah, obviously that was done as a cost-cutting measure. It's actually a very flimsy bridge. It could break at any time. Interestingly, this Lego figure here is actually a reconstruction of a real godlike man who appeared in Darling Harbour 50 years ago, and he had an octopus around him just like this guy, and he did play his big horn. It was heard all throughout the city, and they have chosen to honour him in Lego form in the Sydney Aquarium. Interestingly, you'll notice that these bins are numbered 1 to 12, but with no number 11. Now the reason for that was that it was thought it would be too easily confused with this ship over here. Interestingly, these plants here are actually called string plants. The reason for that is that these white stringy bits are actually bits of string. This is where string comes from. There are many farms, especially in Northern Territory in Australia, where workers pick the stringy bits off, and that's all bound together and sold around the world. Do you love pizza? Then you'll love to eat Love Pizza pizza. Interestingly, the reason it's called Eat Love Pizza is because they couldn't quite decide on the name. They weren't sure whether to call it Eat Pizza or Love Pizza. So in the end, they just took both and they called it Eat Love Pizza. And it doesn't really make sense, but that's how I got the name. Anyway, that's the end of today's very interesting tour of Darling Harbour. I hope you've had fun listening to all of these facts. I'll see you next time.
Sydney Harbour Foreshore Authority appreciates your cooperation. Thank you.
Interestingly, this is actually the world's only talking lamppost. It was designed in the 1960s by a man called John A. Bryan, and such bullshit.